talk about the methodology to draw this part. It's a fairly simple part, but let's take a look to make sure we know where the axis system is and why we selected the axis to be where it is. First of all, we have the axis is right down the center of the part. That's great, and it's right down the center of this little shaft that sticks up. And I think that's a great spot for the axis system. So now let's come over here to ours and let's sketch on the XY plane, and let's see how we created this shape over here. Let's go to the sketch for the first, and now you'll see that we actually drew a circle here, and then this over here was an elongated hole. So we're going to draw a circle over here. Circle, and about like so. Okay, the radius is supposed to be about 50, so I think about in there is about 50. Now I want to make sure that I have my geometrical constraints on, and I want to pick here, and then I'm going to come down, and I'm going to make this also about a radius of about 50. I think I got 60 about on both, but that's fine. Now this can go back and forth, but I picked up this geometric constraint to constrain it to the origin along here. So that's perfect. So that keeps these two lined up. And of course this can go up and down either way. So let's move it about in position, about something like that. And now let's put in the line across the top and the arc in here. So the line across the top will simply go from somewhere here to somewhere here. Now I picked up the horizontal, but I intentionally made it not go to the top, because now what I want to do is hold the control key down and pick both of these and go to my geometric constraints, and I want to pick tangency. Okay? Now it's tangent here, but it's not tangent here because this one could have a different diameter than this one right now. So I'm going to pick this one, and I'm going to pick geometric constraint and pick tangency again. There you go. Now all I have to do is put the arc in here. Now for that one, I am going to choose a circle option. And there are two that we could choose. This is the one that I like the best for this. I'm going to pick here somewhere on that circle, somewhere on this circle, and then somewhere in here. Now you'll notice that if I get right about here, it picks up both of those tangencies. Wow, that's going to be cool because, well, it got one, but it didn't get the other. So let me come over here and let's control pick these two together, and let's put a tangency in there. Uh-oh, this thing is moving instead of that thing. So let's hit cancel. So now let's put a dimension on here just to kind of lock it in position for a while. And let's now put the tangency in here to here. And let's put a tangency. There we go. Now we can delete this. We don't, it'll have to be an exact dimension, but now this will move up and down, and we have the basic shape that we need. Now I love the quick trim option, so I'm going to pull it out, and I'm going to double click it, and I'm going to start trimming out the pieces that I don't want. I don't want that piece, I don't want that piece, and I don't want that piece. Okay, now we have our basic shape. Let's get out a sketcher and let's make a pad. Okay, and the pad comes up a certain amount. But remember, we want our axis to be in the middle of our part, so we choose mirrored extent and say OK. So now we have our basic shape. Now let's get out a sketcher on our other one also. Okay, there you go. Now we simply need to make a shaft come up through here. So let's go back onto the center sketch plane. And let's draw our circle. And let's get out of sketcher and let's make a pad. We'll make it come up the amount of the shaft, wherever that is, and we'll do mirrored extent on it and say OK. Now let's make our elongated hold through here. Now in this case, rather than drawing on the center sketch plane, I'm actually going to draw on this top here, the top face. So I'm going to draw on this top face, and I'm going to draw an elongated hole along here. So I'm going to pick somewhere here, to somewhere down here, and I'm just going to make my elongated hole. Now it's not even close to being in the center, and I like that because I'm going to snap it to the center in just a little bit, and I want to actually see things move when I snap them. So I'm going to control pick both of those, and I'm going to say concentricity. That makes them have the same centers. Good. And I want to pick this one and control pick this one and do the same thing. Geometrical constraints and pick concentricity. Now that's lined up exactly. Now, depending on, I'll delete this dimension here, depending on, oops, Control Z, Control Z, there we go. I could put a vertical on here and a vertical on here. So depending on the diameter here, those will always be concentric on the top and the bottom. Okay, let's make it about the dimension that they have there. It looks pretty good. Let's get out of here and let's make our pocket all the way up to last. Okay, there we go. So now we have our pocket. Okay, the last thing we need to do is put a couple of fillets on. Of course, the yellows are 10 and the blues are 5. So let's put a fillet on of this edge. Oops, I accidentally got the face. So I'm going to select it again to turn it off and be a little more careful this time, picking just that edge and just this edge. And those are going to be 10. While they're pre-selected, I'm going to come up here and make them yellow. And now we need to do this edge and this edge. So we're going to pick the fillet icon. These are going to be 5, and then we're going to pick this edge and this edge and say OK. And since they're pre-selected, we'll make them blue. Okay? So now this part is completed.